Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
You would think that Kamala Harris, while campaigning, would pick a position when it comes to Joe Biden. Does she agree with Joe Biden? Why did Joe Biden have to be replaced anyway? What's the story they're telling us? Is Kamala Harris in lockstep with the moves of Biden in the last 4 years? Or is she turning the page like Tim Walz's patronising wife wants us to believe? Here she is saying to the ladies of The View that she wouldn't have done a single thing different in the last 4 years. What does that make you feel about potentially electing Kamala Harris as actual president for the next 4 years? It's essentially another 4 years of Biden. Now, people used to say that Biden was another 4 years of Obama, and people used to think that Obama was going to be about change, but he wasn't about change, was he? As we learned in 2008, he was about propping up the financial system. He wasn't about bailing out ordinary people. He was about bailing out the banks. This was a significant moment that led to the rise of populism. The populism, in a sense, required leaders to crop up in all sorts of nations. The most evident and the defining one is Donald Trump of the United States of America, a figure that is neither really left or right in the traditional sense, but is more a kind of new populist leader. You know what Donald Trump is. He's been in the public eye for years and years and years. He says crazy stuff sometimes, and he said clumsy things, and probably if I was to talk to Donald Trump, and maybe we will, let me know in the chat if you'd like to see that conversation. I bet there'd be loads of stuff we'd disagree with. But what I'm 100% certain about, and I bet you guys have known this for longer than I have, he's a disruption to the globalist bureaucratic project. That's why they don't like him. They don't care about it. He said what? He talked about ladies' butts. I hate that when people do that. They don't care about that. They don't care about vulnerable people. They don't care about weakness and poverty. They wouldn't live like they did. You wouldn't have Nancy Pelosi accruing hundreds of millions if what she cared about was poor people. It doesn't make sense, does it? You wouldn't have Kamala Harris 1 minute, I'm a border czar, next minute, I'm not a border czar, I'm a gun owner, I hate violence. Like, she doesn't know what she believes, does she? And here what she claims is that she would do nothing different from Biden. This is going to be another one of those Trump campaign ads, isn't it? Hello, I'm Donald Trump and I support this message. You see those? That's a funny move.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Whoa, let me give you a list. The departure from Afghanistan was botched. The border crisis needs to be controlled better. Claiming that Big Pharma has been beaten when all you've got is a couple of price-capped medications. A proper inquiry into what went on during the pandemic period, whether or not the whole thing was an extraordinarily deliberate attempt to activate citizen control measures that would have been inconceivable prior to it. Let me know in the comments and chat what I've missed. What are the things that Kamala Harris should be honest about? What about when she said there's no American service personnel anywhere in the world, and then you saw just a flood of videos online? Well, I guess I'm nowhere then, said a bunch of American service personnel. What do you think she means by that? Is she going to continue on the same line as Joe Biden in the event that she were elected president of the United States, or is she going to turn the page? What are all these contradictions? To get a different take on that, tomorrow you're going to want to see, and this is only available on Locals, my 90-minute long conversation with Jordan Peterson when I ask him, what is the psychology of this election? What is globalism versus nationalism? What does it mean? And plus, I talk about things I've never talked about before when it comes to faith. I think you will enjoy it. Whatever your feelings about Jordan Peterson, it's an amazing conversation. And I tell you, the more I get to know him, the more I like him. I think he's a great man. Okay, guys, right, let's have a look. What are we going to cover now? Oh, yes, of course. Donald Trump responded to Kamala on The View. I've not even seen this response yet. I'm excited to see it. Did he say that? Did he actually say that? And just like that, Kamala's entire bullshit campaign about being a change agent collapses. Oh, that's Don Jr. Yeah, Don Jr., our friend on Rumble. Ah, Don Jr. Oh, amazing. Okay. A change agent collapses. You can't call yourself a change agent when you not only agree with every single disaster Joe Biden is responsible for, but you brag about being involved in those decisions. And then Trump war room. If anything, would you have done? Yeah. That's interesting, isn't it? I would call that a pretty significant error. Okay. So Oh, no, not this. I can't hear this again. I can't sit through Kamala Harris once again telling The View about how Joe Biden called to say he was dropping out of the presidential race. Because a lot of people think that actually Joe Biden's playing a very different game indeed. That actually what he's doing is now trying to bring them down from the inside. Like, he's saying some really interesting stuff. Let me know in the comments and chat if you've seen any of the stuff where Joe Biden is like Agent Biden on the inside. He's had enough. I mean, what was it when he was wearing those MAGA hats? What was going on there then? Now he's doing some crazy, crazy things. Let's just watch a bit of this to see how the banalization of the political process plays out. This is Kamala Harris pretending that this election is like about sort of sentiment. And what is sentiment? It's unearned emotion. Unearned emotion that doesn't come from pain and sacrifice and moving through pain with the certainty that there's something better on the other side. Let's have a look.
You get this phone call, and I guess you can tell who's calling.
I watched Ghost the other day, and I love Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost. I've met Whoopi Goldberg before. She's a good person. I know what you're saying. No, she ain't. No, she is. She's a good person. How are we going to heal the world after this election? How are we going to heal the world right now? What's the solution going to be? I'm staying in my palace of hatred. We have to leave the palace of hatred. We have to believe there's something better available. Now, I say this because I think that what we're going to experience between Whoopi Goldberg and the women of The View might be irksome and potentially propagandist.
And what does he say?
So I'll set the scene for you.
Okay.
So it was a Sunday, and our family, my niece, her husband, and their 2 daughters were staying with us.
I've actually heard this. In a minute, it's about bacon. They're cooking bacon or pancakes or something like that. I'm not interested in the portraiture of ordinary domesticity when it comes to leaders of giant global institutions that have the power to surveil you, spy on you, and kill you, that have the power to change the meaning of language, to change the meaning of law, to use law as a weapon, to use media as a weapon. I'm not interested in whether or not they like bacon. I don't think I care about celebrity anymore. I don't think I care about Hollywood anymore. Like, when I see what's coming out of there, the Diddy revelations that are being sat on, the Epstein revelations that are being sat on, I'm not like, oh, what do these guys believe in? I don't care anymore about it. Do you care anymore? Like, if you see something like Oprah, again, another person that I've met who I believe, I pray is a good person. I pray that. Because I met Oprah Winfrey and I saw her directing a live show from the floor. I went on Rosie O'Donnell, another good person. I'm telling you, these people, they're good people. I don't want to yield to hate. We cannot ever yield to hate. We mustn't. But when I see like all those celebrities cropping up on Oprah, what do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's the answer? Oh, good. These celebrities who, let's face it, let's be honest, and I say this as not a poor person myself anymore. Thank you, Lord. Do you trust their opinions on political matters, or are you more of the Ricky Gervais persuasion, like Ricky Gervais at the Globes? Get your little award. Oh, God, that was a relief to watch that, wasn't it? Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic, and who doesn't love drama? What if you need to lose weight but you don't like injections? Doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The studied ingredients in Lean are shown to lower blood sugar, that's good, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings so you're not as hungry. Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. Doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 pounds or more to lose. That could be me. I could lose 10 pounds. Get started with 15% off and free rush shipping. Add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Do you know what that phrase does? I mean, don't be like an idiot and just think you can guzzle Lean and it's all going to be okay. Add it to a healthy exercise plan in order to lose that hard, stubborn to shift 10 pounds. Even though I believe that you are absolutely beautiful as you are, just lose that 10 pounds because you wanted to. Visit takelean.com. Enter brand15 for your discount. That's promo code brand15 at takelean.com. Thank you.
And I had promised them that Sunday Auntie was going to make pancakes and bacon, and we were going to have a really...
I don't like it. I'm struggling with the way she's saying Auntie's going to make pancakes.
And, you know, the kids wake up, the girls, they're 6 and 8, they were at the time, they wake up early. We always wake up the first.
Right.
So they come knocking on the door, and then we have our quiet time in the morning, just me and the girls.
Right.
Someone in the Rumble chat just goes, she's 3 sheets to the wind by 10 a.m. Where do you learn language like that? 3 sheets to the wind. Do people still talk like that? That's like such a... Are you English? Do people say that in America? You're 3 sheets to the wind by 10 a.m.
And so I went to work out, and I had on cooking shows, and they were asking me, Auntie, what's that ingredient? What's that ingredient? And they're playing while I'm working out. Make breakfast. We sit down. We're having breakfast. And we'd been working on a puzzle. So they wanted more bacon, got more bacon.
Do you know that we might be on the precipice of an actual nuclear war between Russia and the United States of America because of NATO's clumsy handling of this matter? Do you really trust Kamala Harris to handle what's going on between Israel and Palestine right now and bring about a peaceful resolution and not get bogged down in the thousands of years of complex history around that issue and all of the various ways that people on both sides are able to make ongoing arguments that will lead to more and more war? Do you think that Kamala Harris, let me know in the chat, is the person to bring about the solution here? If you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, turn on the notification bell right now. It's the only way that propagandist conduit will ever let you know the kind of truths that we at least try to engage in. Do you think Kamala Harris is going to solve the internal domestic economic problems of the United States of America or not? Who do you trust with your economy? Who do you trust with your children? Who do you trust with their education? Who do you trust? This person who's talking about bacon a lot. I've heard her say this stuff about bacon before. I mean, like, say this was a personal conversation, like you went and met Kamala Harris. Like, do you want to meet the vice president? Sure, absolutely. I love human people. I'm an open-hearted guy, and I believe that we're all the children of God. So, of course, I want to meet Kamala Harris. Right. And she says, do you know, like, when I heard the news about Joe Biden's obviously behind the scenes orchestrated and concerted takedown because of the ineptitude of his debate performance, that he could no longer be relied upon as a cipher, I was making bacon for my nieces, Huey, Louie, and Dewey. No, sorry, that's DuckTales. They've got different names, but what I want you to know is that they're nieces, and I'm not weird. I've got nieces, okay? And I was making bacon. I'm not weird. I'm just like you. I'm making bacon. I've got a gun in the house. I'm making bacon. I'm at home making bacon with Huey, Louie, and Dewey. I'm not weird. DuckTales. Woo! Okay, I'd go, well, this is an interesting person. They don't know the difference between their own life and DuckTales. I would consider that to be a problem. That's a problem. But I'd put it behind me, because where would we be without redemption and salvation? We're all fallen. We all need second chances. We all need the opportunity to change together. We're all looking for a solution. We all live on this planet. We all have people we love. Therefore, we're all basically on, planet Earth, spaceship Earth, trying to find ways to work together with the maximum amount of sovereignty. The sovereignty, and in my conversation with Jordan Peterson, you get such a good understanding of this, that sovereignty is not power like a king. Sovereignty is the power to sacrifice. This is the principle that we get in the crucifixion. Oh, it's so beautiful. You've got to watch that chat. If you're not an Awaken Wonder yet, become one now. This is even before Break Bread breaks next week. The conversation with Jordan Peterson is in itself sufficient to get you over there. That'll be up from tomorrow, 90 minutes long, perfect audio. You will love it. But then, so you meet Kamala Harris a second time. You go around there again. Do you want to go back around Kamala's? Oh, it was a bit weird the way she kept talking about bacon and her nieces and stuff. But I'll go again. You sit down. Hi, Kamala. How you been since last time? Let me tell you a thing. I'm from a middle-class background. And when Joe Biden gave me the news that he was dropping out of the presidential race, I was making Huey, Louie, and Dewey some bacon. You've told me that!
You know how it goes. Yeah. And so then we had a puzzle, so we went back up to work on the puzzle. I'm still in my workout clothes.
Right.
And we're working on the puzzle, and the phone rings.
Right.
So I said, Auntie, you'll be right back. And it was the president. And he told me his decision. And I'll tell you, the first thing I asked him is, are you sure? Because what a big decision.
Yeah.
And historic.
That's enough of that. Jim Murphy in the chat says, bacon isn't an ingredient for a word salad. Which is a pretty good joke, Jim Murphy. Well done. That is why you are a welcome and beloved member of our Awakened Wonder community. We're in a war between independent media and independent thinking that is actually the fuel, isn't it? Your independent thought is what they want to control. Michel Foucault talked about biopolitics. That's the ability to control life itself, to kill and to allow life to flourish. We're talking now, I think, about the politics of mentality, the politics of consciousness. They want control over your consciousness. And that might seem like a bold claim when you look at the inanity and insanity of a lady talking about cooking bacon when she's told that Joe Biden, it's not like, it wasn't a folksy thing, the removal of Joe Biden. It was an expedient political decision when they recognized that they could no longer win the election with him. Oh no, we can't get Hillary Clinton to do it because of financial reasons. Harris is already on the ticket. We're going to have to make Harris work. How are we going to make Harris work? She's not good in public. We'll find a way. We'll either keep her off TV altogether or we'll put her in very favourable TV environments. That's what I think happened. But let me know what you think in the comments and chat. If you watch this on YouTube, turn on that notification bell right now. It's the only way you will get to hear the truth, or at least participate in our best attempts at telling the truth. Because, hey, Lord alone knows we're not perfect. Our new The Oracle series, our first ever group interviews designed to bring the greatest and most authoritative voices in particular subjects together for the very first time. Robert Malone, Dr. Pierre Corey, and Steve Kirsch.
What we've experienced is a globally deployed psychological bioterrorism playbook. It's well developed.
And then I started to see just global propaganda directed at essentially distorting, dismissing, and suppressing the evidence of efficacy. And I saw it as a crime.
And at that point, I knew that this was not just a coincidence. There were too many black swans over too short a period. I've never heard anything like this story in my life.
They seem to get the human psyche so well when it comes to brainwashing us and propagandizing us to the direction that they want us to go in, that you would think that they would know that pulling all of these various tactics would actually just push support towards Trump, not away from him.
Ryan Ruth, some of his posts even show that he appeared to have been working with, in his own words, the U.S. Embassy in Kiev. He's doing effectively military intelligence, human trafficking of terrorists.
It's in this context that I think Ruth was kind of radicalized. He decided that while he wanted to assassinate Putin, the easier thing would be to assassinate Donald Trump.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.